brand new episode of Smile with Prachi. This is Prachi, and God, I've missed this so much. Been so long since I uploaded a video here, right? Anyways, so starting with the first writer, we'll be reading out two letters as usual. So starting with the first writer, let's give the first writer a very plant-related name, maybe, because I'm so into gardening these days. Okay, so we're gonna call the first writer Money Plant. Okay, Money Plant says, "Hi Prachi. My husband passed away a few years ago, leaving me and my daughter alone. We had to move in with the extended family for financials and support. While I'm grateful for their help, my issue lies in how my daughter is treated. Her skin is dark, much darker than the regular Indian brown. She's constantly bullied by the family for this. Everyone has taken the liberty to tell her that she isn't pretty. My sister-in-law is constantly giving her creams to get fair, telling her how nobody will marry her, etc., etc. She's a very bright child and honestly very pretty with her dark skin. But I can't see her losing self-confidence. She cries and cries, even talking about how she feels cursed. She's just 11. I can't confront them because we depend on them. But it's hard to see her suffering so much. Please help." Before I move to your letter, Money Plant, let me tell you about this video which I had seen a couple of years back. It was such a powerful video. It had such a huge impact on me. So they were doing some kind of a study, I think, or an experiment, where they had called a bunch of girls, okay, 7, 8 year old little children, all girls, and they've all given these dolls. So each girl would come in front of the camera. She would be given 2 dolls, and she would be asked, "Which doll do you think is pretty, this one or this one?" So the child just had to point out which doll she thought she was more pretty. So as the video went on, there comes this black Afro-American child, very pretty. So she's obviously, black. She's dark-skinned, and she has this whole head of bushy hair, very cute. Okay, big eyes, very very cute-looking child. So she comes, she sits in front of the camera, and she's given 2 dolls. One doll is dark-skinned, black, dark-skinned, and she had this beautiful bushy hair, this doll. So very close representation of what this child looked like. And then the other doll was a white, fair-skinned white doll with blonde hair. And this girl was asked, which doll is more pretty? She paused for a second, she looked at both the dolls, and she points towards the blonde doll, and she's like, "This one is prettier." You can just see it in her eyes. She's a 7, 8 year old child, so she's able to understand that this doll is very close to what I would look like. She still chooses the other doll. It broke my heart to watch that video. How is she going to grow up? What is that going to do to her self-esteem? I can't even imagine. But that's the world we live in, and that's the world we are building for the children. An 11-year-old girl child being bullied for her dark skin color by a bunch of adults is so sad. But Money Plant, here's what I want you to understand, and for all the parents to understand. Even when you feel that your child is not listening to you, remember, you have a lot of power to change your child's thought process. Humans are biologically designed to trust their parents. Our parents are our safety net, so we believe in them, we trust them, even as we grow up. Subconsciously, if you keep telling her, you tell her about Oprah Winfrey, how she is such a rich, successful woman. You talk about Kim Kardashian. You talk about back home, Aishwarya Rai and Sushmita Sen, and who won the Miss Universe thing. Talk to her about her, give her all these examples. Not all the time, but whenever you get a chance to, just casually just mention it. Don't sit down and talk to her about it, because then she'll not take it. Then she'll feel that you're maybe trying too hard. Just casually, someday tell her, "Oh, you're looking very pretty today. That dress is looking really nice on you. This color looks good on you. I like what you've done to your hair." Just give her these compliments once in a while. And next time, when you see some children bullying her, teach her. Look at it as a learning experience. Teach her to fight back. Teach her to handle these bullies. So somebody, say, calls her ugly duckling, for instance. Somebody's calling her ugly duckling. Teach her to bully that child back and call him something else. Not turn into a bully, but to fight back, to divert the attention from herself. Okay? Teach her how to do that. So next time the aunt comes and says, "Here's Fair and Lovely cream," teach her to say, "I don't want to be fair and lovely. I'm dark and lovely. See, my skin is so beautiful." Somebody tells her that she's not good looking. Teach her to answer those people back. You also just casually say, she's a child. She's not going to apply all these creams. It doesn't suit her. She doesn't like them. She's very happy. Moving to the next writer of the day. Who's the next writer? Well, our next writer is called Aloe Vera. Okay. Aloe Vera says, "Hi Prachi and Smile with Prachi community. My question is, am I a bad person for not donating to charities? I have a very comfortable job and take care of my family. I don't overspend though and save for our future. I have grown up seeing financial crisis, taking up responsibilities when I was 17. Of late, I've been getting a lot of messages and texts asking for funds and donations. Initially, I paid up at a few places, but gradually just stopped. Sometimes I even feel angry at them. Some, not all, some people are just there because of their own stupid decisions. Example, why would a daily wage earner have three children when he doesn't earn enough to even feed one? I had my baby only after I had saved enough for her education, possible medical emergencies, and whatnot. I was talking to my school friends group about this the other day and got major backlash. One even said that people like me are the reason why poverty will never end. Like what the? I couldn't argue anymore, so I left the group. But I pay my taxes on time, never cheat anyone. Being a law abiding citizen, why doesn't anyone respect that? Nobody gave me money when I didn't have anything. Why should I give money to people now when I have hard earned my own luxuries? Alvira, before I move to your letter, this is just for the rest of my viewers and for anybody who wants to hear this out. One of the most interesting, one of the loveliest things my mom has always said and taught me, that she always says that in a country like India, where most of us, we have maids, we have drivers, we have people working for us. If I can just take care of my maid and her family, people who are working for me, right? If I can make sure, not even going out of my way, if I can just make sure that in my maid's family nobody dies of hunger, especially in a time like this, coronavirus, right? If I can just make sure that nobody is dying of hunger, if their basic necessities are met, so for that, maybe I can donate whatever extra things I have, some old bed sheets which I'm just not using, some new clothes which I'm just not wearing, things like that. And of course, giving them a little bit of extra money if and when required. If I can just do that much, this world would be a much happier place. Having said that, Aloe Vera, going back to your question, you don't need to feel guilty. Nobody, absolutely nobody has a right to tell you that you are the reason for poverty when you're not snatching anybody's money. You have said that during your hard times, nobody gave you any money. So now you feel like you don't owe anyone anything. From your point of view, your logic is not wrong. So nobody has a right to demonize you or make you feel guilty. Number three, going back to your letter. Now let me be very honest, okay? And I could be wrong, but just ask yourself this question. Is it possible that deep inside you do feel guilty about not giving money to charities? Because you have written a very long letter with a lot of explanations. It just leads me to believe that there's a part of you, maybe you don't even realize it, and I'm not accusing you of anything. Again, I'm not saying that you're a bad person. I'm just trying to help you manage your thoughts better because it will harm you. Okay? I feel that you do feel a little guilty about not giving them money because you have seen hard times, you have seen tough times financially. So you kind of empathize with people who don't have money. But from what I feel is that your relationship with money is very anxious. Your relationship with money could be a little bit more healthy. It's good to save money, it's good to plan out your finances, it's very important to do all that. But if you're very anxious about money, and let me tell you, psychologically, a lot of people, when they grew up feeling anxious about money all the time, even when you have a lot of money, you will be anxious. I remember I was once watching this Oprah interview of J.K. Rowling. So J.K. Rowling has made a lot of money by selling Harry Potter books, right? So Oprah asks J.K. Rowling that, Rowling, she asks her that you have grown up in very difficult times. Are there times when you still worry about money just out of habit? And you know what she says? She says that I understand that now I've made so much of money, I have to be very stupid to lose all of it. But there are times when I still worry about money because it's just become a habit. Is it possible that you are going through something similar? You need to fix that pattern of thinking because it will really harm you. It will not let you live in peace. Okay, now that is about you and about your concerns. Having said that, talking about charity, now you're asking this question to someone who does believe in charity a little bit, honestly. I'm not saying that you should pour and give all your money away for charity, that's not practical. But even a small donation, even a small amount for a cause that you believe in. For instance, you feel angry that why they're having three children when they can't afford to even feed one. Okay, you have your point of view, respect that. I'll not talk about that today. Maybe you do feel bad about these children who are in orphanages. Maybe you feel bad about children whose parents have left them. Maybe you feel bad for animals. Maybe you have a strong opinion for women's rights, women who have been abused. Pick out a charity or a cause that you believe in, okay, and take a very small amount of money, a very, very small amount of money, okay, and give that for charity every month. So maybe just something as simple as giving 500 rupees or 200 rupees every month for girl child education, for instance. If that is also too much, something as simple as, when you're on Amazon the next time and you're placing an order for things, and suddenly this 5% off coupon code flashes, so you are saving that, 100, 200 rupees. Tell yourself that I was anyways going to spend this 200 rupees, right? But I'm saving this money here. So this 200 rupees, I'll give it for charity. One more thing I want to add. Sorry, I know this video is getting really long, but just one more thing I want to add here. I think a lot of charity these days is driven by guilt. It's not driven by making you feel happy about yourself. I think the whole concept of giving without getting anything in return is too overrated. If I give a little bit of my money to somebody, and if I get a little happiness out of it, I'm just expecting a little smile on their face. It doesn't make me evil. Everybody wants to feel happy. So when you're giving your money and if you get 2 seconds of happiness out of it, even that is something, and that doesn't make you evil. Most of the charities these days, they come making you feel guilty, saying please donate as much as you can. You are living in luxury, but these people are living on streets. You feel so guilty, you feel pressurized. You don't feel happy when you donate. You'll just get an automated response, thank you so much for donating. It will help a lot of people. But you don't get to see that smile. So obviously, as a human being, your brain, which is more inclined to look for happiness instead of guilt, you will try to pull away from anything that's putting that kind of peer pressure on you or that kind of guilt on you. So when you donate at a place for a charity cause, for a cause that you believe in, number one, and donate where you feel happy. There's nothing wrong with seeking a little bit of happiness from donating your hard-earned money, because it will encourage you to donate again. Let's be very honest. Okay, so guys, that's all I want to share in today's video. And before ending this video, for one last time, for all the dark-skinned beauties and all the dark-skinned handsome boys, please don't underestimate yourselves. Please don't. Dark skin is absolutely gorgeous. In today's world, we have a lot of options to change our skin color, very honestly. People in the West who want to get a bit tanned because they think that is more beautiful, they have options for that. In India, if you want to look fairer, you have, film stars like Kajol and all of that who have gotten like so much more fairer over the years with medicines, with injections, with beauty products. But I want you to just know that while we cannot stop all these things from happening, the right reason, if you want to change your skin color, not that you have to, dark skin is beautiful, but if you want to change your skin color, take it something like, changing your hair color, changing your nail color for fashion, just for fun. Not because you feel that dark skin makes you less desirable, less worthy, less beautiful. Dark skin is beautiful, fair skin is beautiful. If you want to change your skin color, at least make sure it's coming from the right place. Okay? Don't harm yourself for it, and don't let anyone believe that you need to. Okay, so guys, that's all I wanted to share in today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend everybody, and bye bye.